Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is gonna be today's look and everyday makeup tutorial. I try to make it as detailed and as simple for y'all as possible. So if you like the look that I have on right now, continue watching. Hey y'all, to start off this video, as you can see, I already have my brows done. And to fill in my brows, I use my ABH Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Ebony. And an angled brush. I don't know where this brush is from, but I always just use a little angled brush. Honestly, it's easy to find a small angled brush and get one anywhere. And of course, I brush out my brows with a spoolie. Always brush them upward and then I fill it in. And then I conceal with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee. I use that under my brows, and then on the top I use that as well, but I mix it with a tad bit of my Sephora Bright Future Concealer in the shade Truffle. And right now I'm actually going to prime my face, then apply this before I apply foundation. For primer, I use the Too Faced Hangover Primer. And I use 2 pumps of that. And I just work it in really low into my pores and all over my face, even on my neck. So we're gonna apply product there as well. Primer I use is my e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. I don't use this all over, but I do use this on my smile lines underneath my eyes. I noticed that it does help retain moisture there so they don't crease as much. So right here underneath my eyes. And I only use 1 pump. And then on my smile lines. Even right here in the little creases of my nose. So next, I will then apply that Sephora Bright Future Concealer. I'm running out of it though, sad. So we'll see what I can get out of it right now. So I apply it underneath my eyes. And I do conceal before I apply foundation because I do notice that it does help with my makeup looking more flawless and not transferring as much throughout the day in those areas. Or creasing as much. A little bit of my LA Girl concealer on my eyelids. And then the palette that I'll be using today is my ABH Modern Renaissance palette. It's old, y'all, don't judge, it's janky. But I'm gonna go in with the shades Love Letter and Red Ochre first. I just go in with like a slightly fluffy brush and I mix those 2 shades together and I go straight into my crease. Building it until you like how it looks. Now I think it's good enough. So then the next shade I use is Cypress Umber, which is this brown shade, and I go in with like a shader brush, a flat brush. This brush is double-sided, and I'll just pack that onto my brush with a little amount I have left of this shade. It's so basically gone, and then I just pack that on my eyelid. And then I just blend it in together. My face looks really oily. I don't like that. It's because of the primer, y'all, but don't worry, we'll fix it. So then I just go into my Morphe Beauty Sponge and I blend out the concealer that I had placed on my face. And now that that's blended out, I go in with my NARS, my favorite foundation, which is the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation. This is it right here. And I'm in the shade Namibia. It's the shade Dark 4. I just shake my foundation up. And then I start applying pumps. I do one pump over here. And one over here. And I do one like on top of my lip around my mouth area. And I also do one on my neck because my neck is darker than my chest and my face, as you can see. So I want it all to match. This brush right here that I'm gonna go in with right now is actually a powder brush. But I use it for foundation because it's dense enough and it's just the right shape and it really blends my foundation really well. So I'm gonna start my neck. I like pat it in while going in circles and like just make sure I really dab it in, because if you just swipe your foundation, it's going to transfer, it's gonna look streaky, and you don't want that. You want like a flawless finish. And you also want to have as much product on your face as you can without having it absorb into the brush. So that's just a tip I have for y'all. Really press it in. Circular motion. I really focus my foundation around here because my foundation tends to transfer around my mouth and I don't like that. Under my nose as well. I don't mind getting some on the front of my brows because that just helps with the fade. And I don't like having boxy brows. Then I take whatever is left in the brush, of course, and I just go on my forehead lightly because I don't really wear too much foundation on my forehead. I just use that to blend in the concealer that I previously placed around my brows. It just helps the concealer blend in much better. Gets rid of that halo effect. My Morphe Beauty sponge again, and I just press it in. Just making sure that it's smooth and there's no lines or streaks anywhere because we don't want a streaky base. So next, I go into my concealer. And the concealer that I usually use is my Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Concealer in the shade Toffee. Right here, just a tad bit on my chin, not too much. And I place a good amount around my mouth, like I said, because that's where my foundation tends to transfer. And I want to keep as much coverage there as possible. And then underneath my eyes. On the sides of my nose, I put some on the side of my nose because it's going to later help when I contour my nose. And I go in with my same beauty blender and I start from the bottom, work my way up. And then whenever I blend out my concealer underneath my eyes, I always start on the outer edges and then work my way in to right underneath my eyes right here, because then I notice my concealer is much more focused right there. And that's exactly what I want. I want the most coverage right underneath my eyes. And it also just helps the foundation and the concealer blend together much better. So I get a more gradient effect than if I just, apply a lot of concealer and just blend it outwards. It'll also elongate my face, and I don't want that. I want my cheekbones to stay pretty high. So like I said, starting from the outer, working my way in. I just realized that I forgot to apply concealer on my nose. So let me do that. There's a little thin line right here. And I use whatever is left on my sponge and I place in the middle of my forehead and in between my brows, because I don't like to add more product in my forehead at all. It's not needed in my opinion, so I just use whatever's left and I just place it there. Sometimes I like to double conceal for a more brightening effect and more full coverage, but I use my LA Girl concealer and I only use a little bit of it. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. Just right here. And a little bit right here. And you could take your time blending. Don't feel rushed because you want your makeup to come out as blended, as cohesive as possible. I try to keep this directly underneath my eyes and as close to the sides of my nose as possible. And like I said, I do this so that later on it could enhance my nose contour. And I think my makeup is blended really well right now. I really like how it looks right now. So I'm going to go straight with powder. And the powder I use is the One Size Beauty by Patrick Starr face powder. And I use the darkest shade, which is Dark Deep. So my under eyes crease pretty fast. So I like to go into my powder pretty fast. And then I go underneath my eyes. I don't bake, but I do press in my powder and I do load on a lot. I do this because I like a matte finish. I don't like a dewy finish. It just doesn't look good on me for some reason. And I have dry skin, so I'm very conscious of the product that I use so that I could still get my matte finish without feeling too dry. And this powder is a really good powder. I recommend it. And again, I'm making sure to carve out where I'm about to contour. I get some on the tip of my nose. And take some on the middle of my brows and in the middle of my forehead as well. My chin and on top of my lip. And then I just take any big fluffy brush that I have and I go in with some of that powder. And I put it on my neck so I can set the foundation that I placed there earlier. To set my whole face, I use my Black Radiance pressed powder in the shade Ebony. And I grab a fluffy brush and I go ahead and I swirl that in there, get a lot in there. And I just rub it all over my face. When you set your whole face, I notice that it gives a better, more flawless finish, and I really like that. So I get some on my neck as well. And a little bit on my forehead. Over the brows is fine. Don't be afraid to get powder on your brows because it just helps mattify your brows, because sometimes brows can look a little glossy, and who wants to have glossy brows? Get some on my nose as well. So next I just look around, you know, make sure I like how everything looks. Then I move on to contour. And to contour my face, I'll be using my Black Radiance Glow Bronzer in the shade Deep Dark, which is the darkest shade. I could have went a shade up because this is not really giving too much bronze. It's giving more contour, but that's okay. I think I might purchase another one, or I might get one of the Juvia's Place bronzers. I've seen a lot of people using those lately, and I kind of want to try it out. So I load the product onto the brush, and then I dust it off. Same thing I do with most of my other products. I just feel like I get the best results like that. And for my contour, I always contour high because I don't like drag my face down, and I don't like how my face looks when I leave my contour low. So I just go here, and like where my ear starts is where I first apply my contour. Like, you know, I press it in there at first, lightly. Then I start actually, you know, with the motions. And remember, you could always add more product and build it up, but it's really hard to take product away, and you don't want to do that. So you could always just start off lightly and then go ahead and add more. You smile too to really get underneath your cheekbones. And I go on my jawline as well. And now I'll just do the same to the other side, of course. I feel like on camera it's picking up really dark, like darker than it is. I'm gonna go with that powder brush I used from earlier. Just blend it in. And then I take the excess that's on the brush and I go along my forehead. Then I just look across my face and I make sure I like exactly where I place my contour and everything. I do think I was more heavy right here than over here, but that's okay, because it's a process. And now I'm going to contour my nose. To contour my nose, I'm using a slightly compact angled brush. And it looks like I contoured my nose already because of the reverse contouring I did, but I didn't. So again, I pack on the product, but I really dust it off. Especially for my nose contour, because I don't like having a harsh nose contour. And then I start in the middle of my nose. I always start in the middle. And then I bring it down. And the closer you make your lines together towards the middle, the smaller your nose will look. The outer you go, the wider your nose will look. So I start in the middle and I bring it down, and then I go back in the middle and I bring it up into the front of my brows. If you bring up your contour to the front of your brows, it gives you a more natural look. And then same thing to the other side.
I just blend out my nose sometimes to get really into that crease. To really get into that crease. Let me get into my brow.
Then I go in with the side of the beauty blender that I had put powder on earlier, and I just press it along my nose contour to make it more natural. It's still looking a little bit too harsh for me, but don't worry, we're not done. The next step now is to take my Milani pressed translucent powder and to apply it on the sides of my nose to further enhance my nose contour and a little bit underneath my eye. I've had this Milani powder for a minute and it's basically gone. And I'll take that same flat side that I used to apply my powder earlier, and I'll just literally like just rub it around in here. Pick up as much product as I can, and then I'll go on the sides of my nose. And I really love a bright under eye, so I'll take the whatever's left on here and I'll go underneath my eye. I'm not greedy on my face when it comes to powder, because I do like that powdery look. Not powdery look, let me not say that, like a matte finish, because nobody wants to look cakey, you know? But I do like that bright under eye, so of course, like I said, I just... And then now, again, over the lines to further blend it and not have it too harsh. And a little bit in my forehead as well. My eye's watering for no reason, but it's not about to ruin my makeup. Not today. Not today, Miss Ma'am. And I'll take the same Milani translucent powder and then I'll carve out my contour. And I do it pretty high, so start right here. Onto the side of my lips. You can smile again to like really carve out your cheek. And then I just like look forward, make sure that they're even, and I don't think they're perfect, so going back in OC. And then I'll take that powder brush from earlier that I used to set my whole face, you know, blend this all together. I don't want the line too harsh, I still want it more cohesive. And then I just go back and forth and just blend it as much as I would like. I know I'm tripping, but I think that this contour is a little lighter than this side. So my next step is blush, and I go in with an angled blush brush, but I don't remember where I got this brush from, but it's just angled and it says blush brush right there. And I use my Black Radiance baked blush in the shade Raspberry. It's beat up, it's janky, y'all, but I just really get a lot in there because I really love blush and I feel like it makes the look 10 times better. It pulls the look together and it brings back the warmth in your face, so I pack it in there. And then when I apply blush, I apply it pretty high on my cheeks, so I make sure that it is like kind of like I'm applying contour again, but like not directly on the contour, just a little higher on my cheekbones. Because some people I know, they tend to keep their blush right here on the apples of their cheeks, like exactly right here, but I don't like that because it doesn't really give you the cohesive nice blend to it. You know, you want to look flawless. We're here to look flawless. Okay, so we're gonna contour, like, you know, just watch me. So it's kind of like I'm contouring again, you see? And I know most people use this technique now anyways, but I know there's still some people that don't. So if you didn't know, now you know. That's a trick to having a nicer blend to your blush. And I just keep applying until I get the look that I like. And right now I think it's pretty decent, and I also apply some blush in the middle right here between my contour and my highlight. A little bit on my chin sometimes, and I go in on my nose a little bit, but not too much because I don't want to disrupt the contour that I already have on my nose. And at this point I like to go back on my contour brush and then kind of like blend the two together. So next it's highlight, and the highlighter of my choice is my Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in the shade Conceited. It's a loose highlight, so you gotta be really careful with this, and you gotta not put too much on your brush, so just be very light-handed with it. And then this is a brush I actually do know from, but this one is the Pro Highlighter brush by Sephora. It's number 98, and I just take some from the lid, not even from the actual container, because like I said, a little goes a long way, and I grab just the tiniest bit. And I go really high with my highlight so it doesn't like completely submerge in my blush and my bronzer, because I really want my highlight to pop and I still want it to be high. I don't want it to be exactly on top of my blush or my bronzer. So I smile, and then I start in the middle right here, and I work it in there. I work it up and then I work it down. And I'm just like tapping, as you could see. I'm not even like blending yet. I'm still tapping. And then I'll blend. And if I feel like I need more, I'll do the same step and just take a little bit. Because like I said earlier, it's easier to build it up, but it's so much harder to take it away. And you don't want your makeup to look all smudged and nasty. So just build it up rather than just putting too much at first and then struggling to really blend it. Love that glow. We love it. Now, same to the other side, of course. And you know, feel free to go back and forth until you like the amount of glow you have on your face. And then I'll take my blush brush and then I'll blend those two together. And I always smile whenever I apply my highlight, so they could be at the highest points of my cheek. A really small brush. This is the Sonia Cash brush, and I just pick up a little bit of the product and I go straight onto my nose. I focus it right in the middle. The bigger you make the little circle on your nose, the bigger your nose will look. And I'm going for that button nose effect. And a little on my Cupid's bow. You'll see that I'm more generous with the highlight on my nose and my inner corners underneath my brows rather than I am with the one on my cheeks. I feel like the ones on the cheeks, you could be a little bit more light-handed with that, but the one in the center of your face, for more definition, I don't mind being a little bit more heavy-handed with it. And then underneath my brows, I used to actually hate this step, but then I was like, let me try it again, and I fell in love again, because I used to only set underneath my brows with the matte eyeshadow, but now I really do like setting underneath my brows with a highlighter. And now for my inner corners. This is the part where I'm most generous with, I feel like, because I really like that pop my inner corners. Now my eye's starting to tear up again. Like, my eye doesn't want me to be great today. It doesn't want me to film today, because why does it keep tearing up? Okay, now I examine my face one more time. See if I want to go in with any more product and define any more places. So I am going in with some more powder. Y'all probably think I'm obsessed with powder, which I am. That's okay. Again, this translucent one is the only one I use at the end of my makeup, so if I need touch-ups, I would rather use this powder. And I'll take it on the sponge again, and I kind of want to define my contour closer to my mouth like this. I also want to define it on the sides of my nose. And then let me go back in with my blush brush. And lately I've been loving not using liquid eyeliner. So I'll take like a black shadow and I'll take a angled brush and I'll just like basically draw on eyeliner, but like kind of like smudge it out. So you could just take any black eyeshadow shade that you have from any palette. It doesn't matter at all. And then just act like you're applying eyeliner. So I always start on the outside. And the good thing about using eyeshadow is you don't have to be super precise. With liquid, you have to be really precise so that the line isn't messed up. But with this, you don't have to be super precise. So if you're not that great at doing eyeliner, this is a much easier way for you to do it. I don't do it to where it's too pigmented, and I kind of like smudge it out as I apply. Kind of like if I'm like applying eyeshadow in my outer V, because I smudge it out pretty high. But then again, I said I only use a little bit of product, so just like that. And now I'll do the same to the other side. Looks pretty decent to me. So before I do my lips, I always apply glue on my lashes, and the lashes I'm gonna be using today are the INV lashes in the style number 9. They're not too dramatic. They're like, for me, this is perfect. I like my lashes dramatic, but some people might think this is too dramatic. I don't. Lately, I've really been liking curling my lashes, and this eyelash curler I'm using, I got at Ross. It's one of Paris Hilton's eyelash curlers. And before, when people used to curl their lashes, I used to be like so confused, because of course I know the normal way of curling eyelashes, but I didn't know when you curl falsies, you're supposed to go from the back. So I was trying to go from the front, and I was like, yeah, this is not working. But yeah, so if you didn't know, like me, you're supposed to go from the back and then press down. Technical difficulties. And then press down to get that nice curl. And the lash looks so much better already. Glue I'm gonna use is my Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive with Aloe. It's the black one. I always use black lash glue, whether I'm using this one or my Duo one. Duo is actually my favorite, but I just don't have it right now. But I always use black lash glue. I prefer it to clear. So now I'm gonna show y'all my favorite lip combo. So first I'm gonna go in with this brown, dark brown eyeliner slash eyebrow pencil I got from the dollar store, but I use it as lip liner. It's the LA Colors one. And I always slightly overline my lips. I know I have big lips already, but I want bigger ones, so I gotta do what I gotta do. But like I said, slightly. I don't overline too much because I don't want to look crazy. Then when I have it to my liking, I go in with the same lip liner, but in black. And I just go on the outer edges of where I applied the dark brown. Then I'll take this NARS lip balm I have. It's in the shade Laguna. It's just a tinted lip balm, and it's pretty much see-through. I'll hide that in the middle. And then after that, I take my ABH liquid lipstick in the shade Bittersweet, and I apply that directly in the middle. And I use too much though. This is matte, so it dries down pretty quickly. So you gotta work pretty fast with it. Then I take my brown lip liner and I go back in. I do this to like blend the shades back together. And then again with the black. So of course I will add lip gloss, but I'll add that at the end when I'm like completely done with everything. So now those lashes that I had applied glue to should be pretty dry. And the way I apply my lashes is I take my mirror and I keep it low And then I always just apply my lashes with my fingers. I like it better than using tweezers, and I always apply them right in the middle. Then I press down the outer edge, and then I press down the inner corner. And that's just a technique that I find works better for me. Try to get a better angle so y'all can see better. Yes, my makeup is really giving today. I really like how my makeup came out today. It's really giving. Yes, it looks even better. And it looks even better in person. The camera's not picking it up as nicely, but it's a lash line. My under eyelash line pretty bare. I don't know, I just feel like it opens my eyes up more when I do that. These lashes are, some people might think they're too dramatic for like an everyday look, but y'all, these are, I don't look cute with short lashes, so yeah. So now I take my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist and I spray that all over my face and on my neck because I did add foundation there as well. I really love this setting spray because I don't like a dewy finish, and this just sets the makeup without making the foundation dewy. They also have a matte one as well, but I don't really like that one because I have dry skin, like I said, and no matter what setting spray it is, when I use matte setting spray, it always burns my face. It just makes my face too stiff. It's dry. I have eczema, y'all. I can't put no dry products on my face. And it just really like blends in the look so nicely. So I'll fix my hair and I'll be right back. So I really hope you all liked today's video. The hair is low-key giving Aaliyah tease, huh? Sign me. Somebody sign me today. Sign me. Just look at the foundation. Look how everything blended together. Like all the products I put on my face. And just look at the nice gradient. So thank you so much everyone for watching me. Please give me video recommendations, and if you want to see more makeup tutorials, just let me know. I'm open to filming pretty much anything, and yeah, just leave your suggestions down below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and to share my video. That'll really help me out, and just stick around for more content, better content. I'm only gonna be getting better from here on because I'm not too good at this YouTube thing, but I'm trying my hardest. So as time progresses, I definitely will get better. So I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be soon. Bye everyone.